Okay, so these are the angle pairs that you have. There are 6 of them. I'm gonna actually start at the bottom because the other 4, I feel like these 4 go together and these 2 kind of go together. So vertical angles, I'm gonna do it kind of like this. You only need 2 lines to intersect to make vertical angles. And I'm gonna use colors. Vertical angles are just right across from each other. So this angle here and this angle here are vertical angles. It's kind of like, if you turn it, it's kind of like, well, this way, but 2 little duck beaks kissing each other. Those are your vertical angles. And they're basically like, they're right across from each other. These are congruent, always. If they are vertical angles, they have to be congruent. So it's like right across from each other. You always have 2 sets of vertical angles. So this and this one are also vertical angles. And again, they're like right across from each other, like 2 little pointed parts touching each other. Your linear pair, again, I'm going to try and draw. You only need 2 lines crossing to make a linear pair. And these are equal to 180. Supplementary, it's the same thing. I'm not sure if y'all have talked about that. Y'all probably have. But a linear pair, the key word here is line. So you have 4 linear pairs on any given thing. And the main thing is that they make a line. So this is my line, that blue one. And so this is one angle here. And then this is the second angle here. And that together is a linear pair. A linear pair, it has to be, pair means 2, has to be 2 angles that when you put them next to each other, they make 180 degrees. Some publishers will say that they have to be, like they have to share a side, and some people say not. Typically a linear pair though, if you can make a line with them, then it would make then it's a linear pair. And so if I were to turn it, I could use this red line and this one, this angle, this obtuse angle on the left here, and then this angle on the right would be a linear pair together because they make that line. So those 2, you only need to have 1 line crossing. You do not need a transversal for these. For these 4 up at the top is where you're going to have a transversal. And that's where you have 2 parallel lines. Although, do y'all talk about them being specifically parallel? It doesn't necessarily say on the top. I can't tell on 1 through 7 if it says if they're supposed to be parallel or not, but normally you're dealing with 2 lines and they're going to be parallel here. And then the line that goes through them is the one that's the transversal. So I'm going to draw this kind of small. Well, let me go back here and do it down here. When you have your parallel lines, we're going to assume that they are parallel. And then I'm going to put the arrows. They are parallel. Your angle here and here and here and here. These are interior. The reason that they are interior, they are in between the 2 parallel lines. So they're in the middle, that means they're the interior. Everything out here is exterior. And so this would be the exterior, these 2 angles, and then these 2 would be the exterior. So you've got inside and outside. And if it helps you to like make a rectangle or something here to see that it's like inside your house or outside your house, you've got your back and your front, if you want to think of it that way. Then you also need to think about on your transversal. You have, and I always draw it where it's not like straight up and down, just to help show that one angle is usually going to be acute and one's obtuse. I don't want to have right angles there. But it doesn't matter if it's straight up and down or the transversal is turned. It's the same idea. All of these over here, I'm going to say are the left, and then all of these are the right. So I don't have highlighters with me, but I'll say these are interior and these are interior. These angles are your left, and then these are your exterior, and these are your right. Not that the exterior and the right go together. I'm just using red and blue. So like this angle is, this angle is on the left of the transversal. This angle is on the right of the transversal. Interior versus exterior. The reason you want to know the difference between those is because it tells you in the name a little bit which one you're talking about. So on the alternate interior angles, you are looking at only on the inside. So we are only looking at these 4 red angles here because they're interior. And so we have this angle, this angle, this angle, this angle. 4, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 angles. And then alternate. So we need one angle on the left and one angle on the right. And so we want this angle here and this angle here, which I drew that really small. Let me draw it a little bit bigger over here, maybe. This angle right up here, and then this angle right down there. Those are, one's on the left side and one's on the right side of the transversal. And then they're both inside, in between the parallel lines. You also have another pair of alternate interior angles, and it would be this one and this one. Your alternate interior angles are congruent, always, if your lines are parallel. So alternate interior angles are congruent, assuming that your lines are parallel. Your alternate exterior angles are very similar, except for they're going to be on the outside. So one of them is here and one of them is there. So again, sometimes it helps if you like turn your paper so that your transversal is vertical. Whoops. So one's on the left, one's on the right, but they have to be on the outside. And then the other alternate exterior, this angle and this angle. And these are also congruent. If your lines are parallel, they have to be congruent every time. Consecutive interior, that's not the term I used or the book that I taught out of, but we taught them same side interior. And that may make a little more sense. I mean, consecutive, it's the same thing. It's just a different term for them. Consecutive interiors. So interiors, we're still looking at these 4 red ones, the interior ones is what we're talking about. So same side. So they either need to be both on the left or both on the right. So here are my 2, they're on the left. Those are my consecutive interiors. And then over here, I'm going to do the 2 that are on the right. Those are also consecutive interiors, which same side, they're on the same side, but they are inside. They're in between. The word consecutive might kind of throw you off a little bit. These, you may kind of be able to tell. This angle here, I drew it, it's obtuse, and this angle is acute, or maybe over here, this angle is acute and this angle is obtuse. They are not the same. The way that they are related is that they are supplementary. These equal 180 degrees. And that's if your lines are parallel, then that's true. And then the last one is corresponding. And there are 4 sets of those. So, oh goodness gracious, those lines are not at all parallel. Didn't even look close. And again, I'm drawing it so that the transversal is always the same way, but it applies no matter which direction it's turned. So corresponding just means they're in the same spot. So if you look up here, around here, there are 4 angles. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there are 4 angles down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I pick the top left angle here, the corresponding angle is going to be the top left, but just on the other line. They're in the same spot. So then another corresponding angle, I could pick the bottom left and the bottom left. It's just pushed down a little bit. And then I could do the top right and the top right there. And then the bottom right and the bottom right there. And corresponding angles are always, well, if your lines are parallel, they are congruent. So that's a little bit of vocabulary. I think it's helpful sometimes to make a piece of paper, and if pictures help you, then draw the pictures, or if not, then write your words. But you'll notice 2 of them are supplementary: consecutive interiors and linear pairs. And then the rest of them are supposed to be congruent, and that's assuming your lines are parallel. So I'm missing part of the directions on the very first one you sent, very top part. But I'm going to go with what I know about it. So the first thing that's sometimes helpful is to darken your transversal. So I'm going to make it a little bit darker, and I'm going to turn my paper so that it's just turned, so it's more vertical, up and down. And it may be helpful for you to see that these are the interiors, 3, 4, 5, and 8, it looks like. And then 1 and 2 and 6 and 7 are the exteriors. So you've got your interiors and exteriors. So 1 and 7 are on the exterior, and they are one's on the left and one's on the right. So it is the alternate exterior. So that one's good. Angle 1 is the bottom left. So it's an exterior angle. But then number 5 is not an exterior angle. It's also on the bottom left of this, where these intersect. So they are corresponding. 8 and 6, I think that's, okay. So 8 and 6 are only right here. They are at one intersection. So that means that they have to either be linear pair or vertical because they are all right here at one, they don't go to the second line. So since I can cover up one line and I have what I need, they have to either be a linear pair and vertical. And they're not right next to each other, they're across from each other. And so 8 and 6 should be vertical. 8 and 5 are a linear pair. They're right at one intersection, but they're right next to each other, so that's right. 4 and 6 they're both, not 4 and 6, 4 and 8. 4 and 8 are both interior. So 4 and 7 would be corresponding, or 2 and 8 would be corresponding. But these would be consecutive interiors, and I'm going to write CI for that. That's supposed to be an I. Kind of looks like a 2. They are both interior, and they're both on the right side of the transversal. 4 and 5 are alternate interiors. Yes, one's on the right side, one's on the left. Well, left and right. And then they're both inside, in between the 2 parallel lines. And then 2 and 8 are corresponding. Yeah, so you got that. This one's the bottom right of this intersection, and this number 8 is also the bottom right of this intersection. Okay, I am going to give the answers down here just to make sure, and I'm going to write in this black marker. Are the lines parallel or not? So what they're asking here is, what angle pair did they give you? So on this one, there's my transversal. They gave me this angle here and this angle. These are alternate interior angles. And they're telling you that they are congruent. If alternate interior angles are congruent, so we know alternate interiors are supposed to be congruent. Because they are, yes, they are parallel. That's the symbol for parallel. Because they told you a pair of alternate interior angles were congruent. Okay, and it says not drawn to scale. They give you 100 degrees here, and that is an obtuse number, but an acute angle. So don't worry about that, although it is confusing. These are this 100 and this 80 are supposed to be I said alternate interiors. These are alternate exteriors. These are alternate interiors, and they're not congruent because they're not the same number. You did get, this is a vertical angle that's a 100, and these are also 80. That information is correct. And you could use, this is 80 and this is 100, that this angle and this angle are corresponding, and they're not the same, so that's why they're not parallel. But basically, you need to pick one of these pairs of angles on the sheet, one of these, and you're going to want to use alternate interior, alternate exterior, consecutive, or corresponding. One of those 4, and because they're either not supplementary or not congruent, depending on which angle pair you pick, that's why they're not parallel. So they gave you your alternate interior, 100 and 80. The 100's on the left side, the 80's on the right side. And since they're not the same number, that's why they are not parallel. So no, because alternate interiors here are not congruent. So that's why that one does not work. I need to zoom out a little bit. Okay. What number is that? 82 and 102 adds up to be 184, which these are consecutive interior angles because they're both on the left side and in between. So since they are not supplementary, they would not be parallel. So you do have that one right. What they give you here is alternate interior angles, and on number 11, and alternate interior angles, if they're congruent, yes, they are parallel. And the reasoning is because your alternate interior angles are congruent. On this one, this angle and this angle are alternate exterior. Got it right that time. Alternate exterior. One is on the left, one is on the right, and they're both outside of your parallel lines. And so since they are not the same, no, they are not parallel. Or just, they're not parallel. On number 13, I think what they're saying is that this angle and this angle are congruent, which, I mean, those are vertical angles, so they have to be congruent. But they didn't give you anything about the information at that one. And so, no, they're not parallel. They're not parallel because they didn't give you enough information to tell. So hopefully that helps a little bit with those.